morning, Michael. You're on the air.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I was talking to Tim Powers there week before last week about a press release from Albany, New York concerning fracking.
All right.
And I didn't get anything from him that it say he received it, but I sent it in by email. A friend sent it in for me.
Okay.
And I don't know what happened to it, but anyway, I could run through it again quickly. Health experts and scientific researchers with concerned health professionals of New York held a press conference in Albany today to release a new major compilation, the compendium of the scientific, medical, and media research findings demonstrate risks and harms of fracking.
Okay, just give us the summary, though. Don't read the news release.
Yeah, okay, then the summary is that there were, out of 300 citations, they came up with 15 compelling topics that emerged in reviewing the data, opening with section 2 of the most acute threats, air pollution and water contamination, and ending with medical and scientific calls for more study and transparency. I could run through the 15 and without going into details. And
well, I mean, I think it's well documented that there are people out there and reports that point to the sensitivities and the potential serious matters that come from fracking, but then every time you produce one, someone who's a proponent of fracking can produce something that says that the risks are minimal, and in fact, for a lot of people, the risks offshore are far greater than the risks for hydraulic fracturing onshore.
Not when you live in the area and you're going to be fracking.
No, it's not about whether or not you live in the area. We don't.
It is. It's not.
It's not that. It's simply not that, though. You cannot ever convince me that someone who doesn't live in that watershed couldn't care less about the health and the well-being of folks who live there. I mean, I just don't think that's true. I just don't think we're like that.
We hope so.
Yeah, so it's not about whether or not
we have to live with it.
Yeah.
If something goes wrong, we're the ones who are going to be without water and that. And this year, and on the West Coast, there's a shortage of water anyway because we didn't have any amount of rain. And then you're going to have that on top of our water being contaminated by fracking if they go ahead with it.
Yeah, but
I heard there in the news this morning that they're going. Minister Daly is going to have an external review on fracking in Stephenville.
Yep.
I heard that there this morning. I just caught the tail end of it. But you don't want me to name the 15 main topics?
What? Pardon me?
The 15 issues that they came out of the 300 that they investigated.
Well, I mean, I think we know what they are, but you go ahead and give it in short order, please.
Okay, air pollution, water contamination, inherent engineering problems that worsen with time, radioactive releases, occupational health and safety hazards, noise pollution, high pollution and stress, earthquake and seismic activity, abandoned and active oil wells and natural gas wells. We already have that at Shoal Point. Flood risks, threats to agriculture and soil quality, threat to the climatic condition or system, inaccurate job claims, increased crime rates, and threats to property and values and mortgages, inflated estimates of oil and gas reserves and profitability, disclosure of serious risks to investors, and the last one, medical and scientific calls for more study and more transparency.
Yeah, so at least half of those could be associated with any sort of natural resource development, not necessarily just fracking. You know, look, the case is clear for me. It doesn't matter what an internal or external review says. People who are opposed to fracking now will remain opposed to it regardless of any independent review. And the same goes for the other side. From where I sit, I have yet to be convinced in full that there's any significant risk associated with fracking, any worse than all the other natural resource extractions we do, whether it be tailing ponds, offshore oil development. We seem to accept those types of risks, and we do all we can, and we should legislate and have regulations in place to mitigate all apparent or potential risk. But this is going to happen, right? They're going to frack on the West Coast. They simply are. So all these reviews will be for hopefully to get the facts straight so far as the government's concerned and the companies are concerned. And it's also in a delay, it's a delay tactic, but they're going to do it.
Patty, I wonder too about, remember last winter those blue whales over in the St. George area?
Yeah.
That were, I don't know, they said they were trapped in ice, but my God, blue whales, when they go up in the Arctic everywhere. I think when they done fracking over at Flat Bay there, I think it was 2012, That might have something to do with it. And again, out of Cape St. George, you get the acids freeze, and they actually melting limestone. Where does the wastewater in that go from there?
Michael, do you think
Did it have any
people latch on to that?
Just...
I don't know what it does, but do you think people latch on to the reason the blue oils got stuck in this because they fracked that well? I mean, seriously, buddy, do you think people are actually going to latch on to that as some sort of
on there?
And then the same thing when you talk about Bay St. George and the count of mussels and stuff out there. Yeah, we dump sewage in there. It's been a cyclical thing. Before they ever fracked the well, we can look back at where there's been ebbs and flows in the amount of mussels and other seafood or other species. And yet we all associate it with fracking. I just find some of it has been just a little bit bizarre, and I don't think it does your side or your group any good, to be honest with you. But that's up to you, whatever you say or feel or think.
Yeah, but you're talking about pollution that from sewage, and that Steamville has a treatment plant there now. Yeah. And everybody around the communities and that have their, sewerage fields and that out there, and it has to be government inspected, and it's not like it was raw sewage.
And it's happened before there was ever a well fracked. That's the point, though, right? We've had all sorts of well-documented, and I mean, I am not one of the, I think, crackpots who are completely dismissive of all of the scientific proof that's available for global warming and climate change. Now, I'm not doing that at all, but there are cycles that have been well documented that we can't put it all on fracking, like the whales caught and stuff like that. Like, I just don't get it.
Get this report from Albany, New York, from these health
send
experts.
You one. You send that to someone who's a proponent of fracking. They'll send you one back who says that fracking and
it was sent in. It was sent in last week, but sometimes what happens, it doesn't get to the person it was meant to. It was sent to Tim Powers. He was on the show last week in your place, I guess, was it?
That was the way, yeah.
Yeah. But wonder sometimes... Pardon?
Feel free to send it to me. I read everything that people send.
Okay, then we'll try to get it sent in. Again, what's the... I'm not too familiar with this email.
VOCM.com is my email address. That comes directly to me.
And attention of Patty?
Yeah, and then absolutely I'll get it.
Okay, then. Thank you.
No problem. Anytime, Michael.
That,
take it easy.
Yeah,
bye-bye.